You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Everybody, it's Dr. Lady J here. How y'all doing? How everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the show. Now, y'all, I've been out all day. So if you see me looking a little rough and ragged, that's why I've been out all day long. But I want to say thank you to my two guests that are on tonight. We're going to have a very candid conversation. Let me explain. Let me set some ground rules because I don't want anybody, coming at me saying anything. So let's just set the atmosphere, okay? And let me tell you a little bit about me if this is your first time tuning in. My name is Dr. Lady J. This show is called What Up Baltimore. And since 2019, thanks to my brother and friend and everything, Chris Anderson, he was the one that got this show started, the name, everything. And so, why is my name spelled wrong? I just saw that on the screen. Yeah, I was so busy brushing without my glasses on. But anyway, you know how to spell it. But anyway, so I've interviewed so many politicians. I'm talking about like big people, small people. Like I've interviewed a lot of people. When I go to Annapolis, they know who Lady J is. And so what I do with this platform is I allow the politicians to come on to say, what they need to say. You will be allowed to call in tonight. I'm going to put a call-in number on the screen. Now, what's happening is next Wednesday, I'm actually going to be doing a virtual mayoral debate. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. And make sure you tune into that next Wednesday, May 1st. So let me just say this before anybody says anything. Tonight is going to be a conversation, okay? I've told both of the candidates we're going to have we can have this conversation. I'm going to allow them to talk, to say whatever they want to share, because sometimes we see the candidates out here running their race, but we don't really know who they are. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. These candidates are from Baltimore, Maryland. And so we're going to have a conversation. I ask that you would find 3 people and share this video with them. Now, why is my phone ringing? Y'all, listen. So let me turn my phone off for now and let me make this other announcement that I'm doing the show. But anyway, y'all, so tonight the first guest that we have on is Pastor Shannon Wright. She's running for mayor of Baltimore, and this is not her first time. I think when I first met her, she was actually running for mayor, and she was having a horrible day. And, I was just like, maybe I shouldn't do the interview. Maybe I should just maybe I should just talk to her, and just tell her it's going to be okay. Because she just looks stressed. So that's how I really connected with her at that time when I first met her. And I followed her, journey with her doing politics. Now, I'm not a politician, and I ain't going to play one tonight. So I'm going to let her talk. If you all have any questions, you are welcome to put them into the chat. I'm going to put the phone number up. You're welcome to call in. She's going to be on for 30 minutes. We started a little bit late because I'm not home and I'm using somebody else's computer. Um, so after she's done her 30 minutes, we have Donald Scoggins who's running for mayor. He's going to come up and do his 30 minutes. Like I told both of them, they will have the opportunity to say what they like to say, and I'm just here as a vessel. Now, so Pastor Shannon, Wright, welcome. You've been on here before. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. She's also going to be in the debate, y'all, next week. So thank you for coming on. Thank you to her husband, Michael. Um, Thank you to her husband, Michael. Thank you. Is that for me? Oh, sorry, y'all. We got shenanigans going on over here. But anyway, thank you to her husband, Michael, for coming on because Mike has been sick, and she did share that story about him being sick. So, you know, thank him for being on tonight. So, how y'all doing tonight?
We're good. What's up, Baltimore? How you doing?
All right, and Mike comes on like every now and then. He's gonna be in the background. So I wanted to ask you, Pastor Wright, how's your campaign going? You know, how's everything going? I think it's really brave of you to do this, and you know your husband is sick, but you know, how's everything going with your campaign so far?
We've had some challenges. One, yes, there was some health issues. None of us are getting very younger.
Mm-hmm.
And also we had the campaign had a bit of a shock about a month ago. My campaign manager passed away. That's
Right.
the
You know what? Let me say this. I'm sorry, and I meant to say that. I want everybody to keep Dr. Chris Metzler's family in prayer. For those of you who don't know, he's passed away, and I'm still trying to like wrap my head around that. You know, him passing away, but he passed away, and they had the memorial service. So yeah, I still can't say that, but anyway, yeah, he passed away. So please keep his family in prayer.
So, the last couple of weeks, I've been working with his family to be able to put together a real nice memorial service, which we did, and we just had a past Sunday. Politics for me is about people, so it was important for me to take the time to show him respect for all that he's done for us and for people. I can't even tell you how many people he touched and that showed up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing too, but we're getting from some of the viewers, we're getting feedback still. Is
You're
it
getting
clear?
yeah, you're fine to me. We can hear you well.
Okay.
Do you have earphones or mic on or anything over there? Because I know sometimes that will give you feedback.
No.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, we hear you fine.
I'm just going wrong.
All right.
So,
And I wanted to say this because I don't want to look like I'm being rude. I'm actually sharing the show, so if you see me looking down or anything, that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing the show. And I want y'all to share the show too to at least 3 people. Don't just be sitting up here watching the show. Share the show, okay? All right, go ahead, Pastor Shannon. Right.
so it has been a challenging, it's been a challenging season, but I will tell you this. I'm running this because I know I have the ability to make changes in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm running. Very simple as that. We've got a homicide rate that's still too high. We've got broken public schools. We've got a shrinking population. We have a lot of issues going on here in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And the direction we're going has not been working. Just recently, the census numbers show that the city is shrinking, and it's shrinking at an alarming rate. With the highest property tax rates, the bad public schools, and the high crime rate, it's going to be very challenging to attract people, families, businesses to the city. So, in order to get that happen, we need new leadership with new ideas and solutions that actually work.
Right. So, and I said I wasn't going to talk a lot because this is supposed to be a conversation. The candidates having a conversation with us, but do you feel as though, and I'm going to ask everybody this, do you, and I know it's going to be yes, but do you feel as though you're the right person for the job, especially because Baltimore is a blue state, and they are Democrat. They hard here, hardcore Democrats. So, do you think that you will how will you fare doing that?
Well, in terms of first question, am I the right person for the job? Absolutely am. I have the opportunity to write policies on local, state, and federal level specific to urban areas. I understand how solutions can work here. The problem we have here is we have too many people that want to look at the beauty, not the policy. So we're now in a situation where the new slave master is from one party and actually looks like that.
Okay.
And we are being hostage to those failed policies.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is we have a superintendent that is not improving schools. Until recently, we had a state's attorney that passed the policy of not prosecuting children. We've got a lot of issues going on here in the city that need solutions that we're just not getting. We need to fix the schools. We need to introduce academic savings accounts. We need to expand the boost program. We need to expand the opportunity for charter schools. We need to work on our youth engagement. Kids don't go on the street doing all this nice when they have constructive things to do. So we need to work on that in the way of our next step.
Okay, somebody is saying that there's an echo. I don't know where. I'm not sure where. When you talk, for everybody that's in the comments, help me out here. When I talk, do you hear an echo? Because let me see if I can figure this out.
No.
Okay, so the echo is heard when you all are talking.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. Because you went out and you came back in, so I'm not really sure. I guess somebody was saying no, there's no echo with me. Okay.
So.
Okay. Are you on your phone? What are you on doing this?
We're on the phone.
Can you go on your computer?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. This says definitely an echo. They have a screen open. Oh, they're asking, do you have a screen open? It could be because you're on your phone. Let me give you a minute, and you go and if
Okay.
you jump on your computer and come back, because I want to make sure that both of you are heard when you come on.
Okay.
I'm going to turn off the camera for a second and try something before we actually leave.
Okay, no echo from Lady J. I have not understood a word from the Wrights. Got it. Thank you. See, this is why we have this audience. So let me take them out, and we're gonna wait until they come back. Actually, let me take them all the way out because I don't want them to. I'm gonna put them from the studio. So let me tell you a little bit about what she was saying. Basically, what she was saying is that she feels as though she's the right person for the job because of her past experiences. And like I said, if anybody wants to call in, because I've done this so much. Okay, here we go. Let me go. Let me speak. Let me let them speak for themselves. Let me add them back. Okay.
How's this? Is this good?
Nope.
Start out loud.
I don't know what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is it something going on? Is that a computer behind you? Is that on?
It is.
Because I can't figure out. I can't figure out where the echo.
All right. We're gonna go back out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I don't know what that is. And really, me sitting here, I can't hear the echo, so I don't know. But anyway, she was saying that she feels as though that she's the right person for the job because of her past experience and those kinds of things. She was talking about the school system and how bad the school system is. Now, I am, I'm going to just remain as a neutral person here because this is the conversation for the candidates. But if you all have any comments or questions, you already know what to do. I'm going to put the phone number up. And this way, if you would like to call in, you can call in. If you would like to, what is it saying? Dr. Chris, yeah, Dr. Metzler passed. Suddenly, he suddenly passed. So, because I know that, and this, I don't really like, I interview a lot of the politicians, like I said, but I'm not really into this whole politic thing because it's mudslinging and, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not really into that. I'm straight shooter. I'm going to just tell you what I have to say and I'm done with the conversation. So I don't really get into it. And I always say anybody who actually is in it, like God bless you, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I'm not that person. I'm not. So we hope that they'll be able to come back. We got Mr. Scoggins in the back studio. He's gonna come out. Let me put this phone number up here because while we are waiting, if you would like to call in, I'm going to put this number up. You can feel free to call in. Again, my name is Dr. Lady J. Numbers 443-297-4753 if you would like to call in if you have a question or a comment. You may call in now. I have unmuted the phone and you can call in. Hopefully the Wrights will be able to come back. And again, next Wednesday, May 1st, there's going to be a mayoral debate that I'm doing, a virtual mayoral debate on my platform. I've gotten confirmations, and so I want you to, the flyer will be coming out, and I want you to make sure that you tune in and that you share it with somebody because voting is so important, and we have to exercise our right to vote. I mean, if you don't, it's really sad if you don't. And sadly, a lot of people in our city don't understand the voting process. They don't have their cards, voter cards. So, those are the things that I try to do on this platform to help them out. I did get questions from some of you today that were for Mr. Scoggins. And if you're not on here, I'll ask those questions to him. But yeah, I don't know. They didn't come back yet, y'all. So let me see. Anybody have any questions? Anybody would want to call in? Anybody have any comments? Let's see. Let me go back up here and see if there's anybody here to comment. Okay, here they are. Let's try it again. Let's try it again, y'all. Let's see if it works. We're going to cross our finger that it works this time. I got my black power wig on today because I did not have time to do my hair. Y'all probably like, what is going on with her hair? That's the black power wig, y'all. All right, let's see.
Does it sound better?
Much, much better. Okay? And my people in the chat will let me know if there's an echo. Please let me know in the chat. Y'all know what to do in What Up Baltimore. All I gotta do is sit back and let you do what you do. All right, so let's go back because some people said they didn't hear a word that you said. So let's go back. You were saying that I was asking you, do you feel like you're the right person for this job in this time, in this day and time? Are you the right person for the job?
Am.
Okay, so you go ahead and tell us why because they actually missed that part.
So we need leadership that is willing to go in a different direction. We've had one-party rule for decades in the city, and it's taken us in a direction that doesn't work. The problems with the school system didn't start in this administration; they've been going on for some time now. The problems with the farm didn't start in this administration; it's been going on for some time. We need a solution that is not recycled, but is new, that can actually speak to the folks in the city, meet them where they are, and help them where they need.
Okay, somebody said they're still hearing an echo. I apologize, y'all. I don't know, because they done moved up probably every part of the house, so I don't know if the next
But
part of this is
actually,
go outside. I don't know.
we went to computers, so I don't know what it was, but I hear it.
Somebody said Blanca said there is still an echo. So I don't
Mhm.
know why you all are having problems on, because you're on the computer now, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm not really sure.
with no other windows open.
Okay, let's try something else. We trying something right now.
Whatever we've done to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Can you go in your StreamYard? It's going to be if you go to audio.
Settings
That's my going now.
Okay,
and audio, echo
and
cancellation,
hit echo cancellation,
and maybe even
Yep.
reduce.
and then it'll say
Reduce noise
background.
background.
Yeah.
How's that? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, white people. Somebody said this is and okay, somebody said
I
because
had
right
that.
now
Yeah.
I
they
had that.
said. So can you go back to me and take me off? Because I
How
don't
close
know.
is this?
Yeah.
So how does it sound? Nope,
Still there.
still there.
We have the clip.
All right, it was on.
Somebody has two devices.
Yeah, because it sounds like you have another device in my somewhere. They had Truth Ministries. They have another device on displaying the same comment.
Still
Trying
doing
to
it.
tell them to close any and other screens.
Yeah. There's two devices. There's no phone or anything.
How's this? Nope.
They're on their computer right now. So
But they don't have a cell phone on.
you don't have this. Do you have your cell phone on or near you?
No,
No.
it's in the back room.
Okay. Let's try it again and let's see what happens.
I guess you gotta talk.
Did you
Okay.
hear?
So go ahead and finish what you were saying. I want to see if it's still an echo. I think they muted. Are they muted?
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now I can.
Yeah, it's still
Mike is
echoing.
trying different settings.
I'm trying to change the mic. Let's see if that works. Default speakers.
So how about I do this? I'm going to let y'all work on that. I'm going to bring Mr. Scoggins up since he's in the background. And then, because I don't know what that sound is. You want to try talking again and let's see?
It hasn't changed.
Oh, good.
So we're
Go
still,
ahead.
okay, we can hear it.
Yeah,
You can still hear it.
yeah, we can hear.
I don't know.
Can your listeners still hear it?
Where my listeners at? Mr. Truth Ministries, do you still hear an echo? And who is that? Blanca and Davenport? Let me know if go ahead and talk and let me know if you hear an echo with her talking.
So we've closed every screen. We're moved to a different device. I don't know what else to do.
Because they don't hear an echo with me, they hear an echo when
With
they
us.
talk. So let me try something too. Okay, let me try something. Go ahead and talk. Just keep talking.
Okay. So this is really a challenge because I don't know what people are hearing. I don't hear an echo now.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Okay.
Okay, I just did something. But what I'm going to do is just let you talk, okay? I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to let y'all talk. And we're going to do this thing. Okay, go ahead.
So I do believe I'm the right person for the job right now. I really do. We need somebody that understands where the city is at and what kind of solutions can actually work. We have a mayor that right now will say, well, this problem is national. This problem is the same as in Chicago or New York or LA. But we don't live there. We live here. And we need leadership that no matter how hard the problem is going to come up with a solution and not blow smoke. I am that person. I am that leader that I'm going to tell you the schools didn't get broken overnight. They're not going to get fixed overnight. But starting day one, we're going to make some big changes to make it happen. I'm going to tell you the truth. Crime didn't start yesterday. It's not going to end tomorrow. But we're going to do the things to fix the root cause of the crime in the city to be able to give people hope, options. Now, I'm trying to be politically correct and diplomatic, but that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to be straight to the point. I am not the type of person that's going to sit here and just quote numbers and throw stats at you. Anybody can do that. But what I will do is I'll take questions. If you want to ask me something, ask me. You want to ask me, how will you improve the schools? Ask me. You want to ask me, how will you lower crime? Ask me. Because I understand the answers. I understand the solutions. I don't need to have the ability to look them up and read it to you. I understand how to make these things in this city work. It's not a smoke and mirrors trick, which as I've been accused of this week, folks saying that she's got to be reading, we just can't see how. Let me be real clear with y'all. Listen close. I am 57 years old. If y'all think I can see well enough to be able to be reading something on the screen off camera where you can't see it and still looking at the camera, y'all done lost your dang minds. Let me be real about that. I can speak about these issues because I understand them and because I study them. I put in time to do my homework. Lady J, throw some questions at me.
Okay, so Lady J has figured out what the problem is with the microphone. So this is what we're going to do, right? When you talk, I'm going to mute my mic. When I'm talking, you might have to mute your mic, because for some reason, I've been doing this a minute, so I had to figure out something. So, I said, yes, the echo is strong. Okay, shouldn't be strong now because their mic is muted. So I get what you're saying, Pastor Wright. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'm going to throw some questions at you that people have sent to me. Okay. All right. Thank you. Up. Oh, I like that upper level. Thank you. So I'm going to throw some questions at you that people are throwing at me. I can, I know you think fast on your feet, so I'm going to throw about 3 of them at you. And let me say this before we get started. Let me clear the air for a minute, okay? Because here's the thing. Some people have said that, myself and Pastor Shannon, Wright, we're so close, and I'm probably going to cover her and do all this. I don't cover nobody, okay? I have a 28-year-old son. That's the only one that I cover and pray for. If she got a husband, let her husband cover her. And there's nothing that, that we do together, none of that. So I don't know where that came from, but y'all should know that I'm not the one, because I will tell you exactly how I feel, and I'm going to come to you. I'm not going to go to nobody else. You and I are going to have a conversation, because I'm too old for this, and I don't have the tolerance level. So we're going to have a conversation. So I want you to get that out of your head, okay? I don't do he said, she said. I don't do none of that stuff. So whoever is running around, and, oh, I'm sorry, I call back, caller. I hung up on you. Whoever's running around and saying these types of things, evidently, you don't know Lady J, okay? You don't know me. Watch the show. I do a lot of them. And my platform is everywhere. And so I want to really make that clear to help you all to understand that when you open your mouth and you say certain things, know who you're talking about and know what you're talking about. Okay? I'm done. Now we're gonna take this phone call. All right? Because I had to clear the air on that one, because I'm not the one. And I do my show. I had built it up myself. And I'm doing very well. So don't come over here with that nonsense and that foolishness, because we all too old for it. Now let's take this caller and let's All right, caller. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this caller on. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm 61. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening. I just would like clarification from the first debate previously. there was a inference that Pastor Shannon and her husband had both just recently moved to Baltimore. Could you please give us the timeline of when you came to Baltimore, to the state of Maryland, and the circumstances that brought you here, please? And I'm going to hang up so there's no more echoing.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for calling in. Let me mute me, and then I'm going.
Mike and I are not strangers to Baltimore and haven't been. We both have family here in Maryland and in Baltimore. So we've been back and forth, but we actually moved here, wow, over 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago.
Yep.
We've been here over a decade. We've been here longer than all of our grandchildren have been alive. We're not new here.
No. And the circumstances that brought us here was that we originally lost our home during Hurricane Sandy. And we were, we had came down to Baltimore. Family members said, come on down to Baltimore. And
again, we're familiar with it because we've forever, we have family here.
You handle your situation with your house, but we were like, we grew to love the city. We grew to love the people, the environment, and how it really is down here was such a change. It was, and the culture and just the things about Baltimore that made it so amazing. So we were like, after a certain amount of time, we were like, we're going to stay.
Hold on a second. So there's a brother.
Truth Ministries. Let me say something to you before I put you out, okay? I don't stage anything. I want you to understand that. I'm at a level of what I'm doing where I don't need to stage anything. I don't need to plan anything. I don't know who you are because, like I said, evidently you must don't watch me. So don't come on here with the foolishness because I'm not the one. I'm really not the one. And you sitting here talking about good stage call. Give me another one and I'm just going to block you. You won't be on here at all. Because don't come with the foolishness. I said, do you have a question for the candidate? And I don't need to do stage calls. What you saying now? I don't need to do stage calls. This is ridiculous. I didn't say you did. But don't say it, period, because you don't know. And this is the problem with our people. This is the problem with our people. We don't uplift each other. We don't support each other. And that's what my platform is about. And I get sick and tired of the nonsense going back and forth. I have two candidates on here. They're running for office. I said, let's have a conversation. So I don't know who you're talking about, stage the call or whatever, but that don't happen over here. It really does not. And I will say this. One thing I do know about Shannon Wright is that her husband, and this is why I'm getting a little upset, because her husband is on dialysis waiting for a kidney. And this woman does not have time to stage a call to do anything, because I've asked her why she's running for mayor. You don't have time. You don't. Who is this right here? Let's just ignore the comments, love, and keep the show rolling. We don't want to lose focus for a select few. You're right, but then sometimes you have to check that select few. And I got to make it clear. And this is my platform, okay? So I have to make that clear. Don't come with the foolishness. Well, the comment was about something that I said in the comments last time. So, yes, I spoke on it. And I get that, Truth Ministries. I get that. But we're not on that show. We're not on that show. Respect to the man that did his show. I watched it. I'm not talking about his show. I don't care who commented on that show. This is What Up Baltimore, Lady J Media. Let's ask the questions for tonight. If the candidates want to talk about what happened on the show, I don't have a problem with that because they were a part of it, and I've said that to them. I don't have a problem. Okay, here's the caller. She said it wasn't staged. I asked for dates. I commented that she came during the hurricane. You said what hurricane? The comment box closed before I could respond. I asked her to Hurricane Sandy 2012. Thank you, caller. Listen, let's move on. Let's move on. Cause see, some people, and this is why we don't get anywhere and we don't get far. Because we get on the same subject from last week and keep on talking about it, but we're gonna keep the train rolling because I got Mr. Scoggins in the background. So, Pastor Wright, let me go to another question. There was a question about, and y'all can put your questions in the chat. You don't have to send them directly to the 4753 number. Just put them in the chat. There's a question about your credentials and questioning whether or not you are really qualified for the job, or is this something that you were telling us they can't find what you were saying about yourself? So I'm going to mute me. I'm going
See, can I say something first?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I'm not with the drama. All right. Whoever that person is that said what he said, listen, brother, I ain't got time to be playing no games up in here. I'm sick of all these people playing games like, yo, this is my wife. This is my ride or die. This is the girl that saved my life. If it wasn't for her, I would be in jail. I'd be in prison right now doing life. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what you think this is about. It's some kind of game. I don't play this. My wife's a politician. My wife is a pastor. I ain't none of them. And it's for good reason. I don't play them games. All right. I don't know who you are and about you from Jersey and all that. Listen, bro, you can keep that. All right. I'm sick of these guys playing games around here. You know, and you try, would you even run up to bro? Stop. You're not even running, bro. Stop. Whatever. Let me tell you something. I ain't got time for this because you talking, and you didn't say anything to your wife. I didn't say you said anything to my wife, but I'm tired of the games.
He's not referring to you. If you didn't say nothing to me, he's not referring to
I'm
you.
not, listen.
He is trying to set the record straight. But
I'm not trying to do anything, but I'm trying to let other people know also. Listen, for my wife to run for office and to do what she's doing, I'm very proud of her. All right. I don't know how everybody else is in their relationship, but this is mine. And I'm very proud of her. Okay. And when you sit up there and you this and that and that and that and the other, for what? Why is it always you got to bring somebody down? Why y'all always got to try to bring each other down? I don't understand us as a people. Why we got to do things like this? I had a man a couple years ago when my wife was running for office pull a knife on her. I had to put this dude in jail. Why are you in the chat?
because it's Lady J's platform and he was
Dude,
invited.
you just need to go, man. Just go somewhere.
Because
Just go somewhere.
it's Lady J's platform
Just
and
go
he was
somewhere.
invited. That's
Stop,
why.
stop, because now you trying to be
Okay,
bullied.
come on.
Listen. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I ain't the one. I'm not the one.
In any event, there's been a lot of tempers flaring, and it's very interesting. Folks want to talk about stage calls. I'm not staging anything. I don't need to. I really don't. I'm not going to ask anybody to do something I'm not going to do my damn self. So let's be real clear on that. I've been living in Baltimore for quite a while now, long enough to understand the problems in Baltimore. And I have the experience to be able to bring solutions to the table. Now, when people want to ask, am I actually qualified because they don't know? Ask me a specific question. I've had the opportunity to write policy for the state of New Jersey, the state of Arizona, the state of California. I've been a part of Dr. Carson's Thought Leaders Roundtable and think tank to be able to write policy for HUD, for all of our urban areas. I'm not new to this. I'm trying to read this comment and I just missed, I didn't see it all. It went a little off the screen too fast. Listen, my goal here is not to argue with people, piss anybody off. I don't care about none of that. But a lot of that is why we can't get anywhere as a city and as a people. A lot of that is why people look at the city and say, oh, well, I don't know what you're going to do. Oh, that's Baltimore. Enough of that. It's time to bring back Black excellence. And yes, I said Black excellence. I don't care about nobody else's excellence. I care about Black excellence. Because when we start to do that, then we don't have to sit here and backstab each other or jab at each other. We're going to be focused on climbing the ladder, not on each other's backs. There's been enough backstabbing and crab walking. I understand the whole Maryland crab thing, but there's been enough crab walking. Let's all lift each other up. We can fix this city. The solutions that have been brought to the table have not been working. It's time for some new ones. Lady J, throw something else at me, please, before I go on a rant.
Yeah, sitting there typing on.
All right, so I'm going to give you one more question. And well, let me read we got a comment in the chat. So this is Truth Ministries. He said, "All I did was correct a statement. Trust me, if I knew it would go this far, I would have never said it. I'm sorry. Thank you for your apology. That's what we do over here. Listen,
Thank
like I
you.
said,
Thank you.
you must have not watched me, because over here we fuss, we get it out of the way, we apologize, we keep it moving. We don't talk about it anymore. We do what we have to do here. But one more question, because then I'm going to get Mr. Scoggins on, and then y'all, I want to go home because I have to speak at the college tomorrow, so I have to get home. But one more question the person had for you was let me find a good one in here because I got a few. I mean, some of them are the same thing. So I'll just ask you this one. Can you tell us what you have done in the past as far as like being with organizations, policies, writing policies, things like that? Yeah. I think you are.
There we go.
Yes.
So at one point, I was a board member of the NAACP in New York, and we worked on a lot of desegregation work, specifically to housing and education. And I was part of the team that orchestrated a rather large settlement against the state of New York. That's one thing. In New Jersey, I was a part of the Blacks or African Americans for Chris Christie. I was co-chair of that coalition. And when the Christie team came in, we were a part of writing the white pages for Lieutenant Governor Guadagno in terms of faith-based initiatives, in terms of community excellence programs, and in terms of community school solutions through faith. And, okay, I'm seeing a question, sorry. Lost my whole train of thought. Since being here, I was a part of Dr. Carson's Thought Leaders Roundtable for HUD, which meant we worked on policy for all categories of issues and questions and concerns.
What's the top concerns for you?
I think someone said, what are the top concerns? What are my top concerns for Baltimore? Okay. 3 things: the schools, the crime, and food insecurity. And not in that specific order, but I'll tell you why. If you send your child to school and their stomach is empty and talking louder than the teacher, they're not going to learn anything. If you're a parent and you can't put food on the table for your children, you're going to think about doing things you weren't raised to do. So we have to fix some core issues in this city. And my biggest concern is the schools, because fixing the schools gives our kids hope. Not only that, but fixing the schools makes our city more attractive to grow our population and our tax base so that we can lower property tax. And doing those things will help us to lower the crime rate. Fix the schools, give people the ability to put food on the table, grow your economic base. Those are my 3 areas of concern. Without those, this city cannot thrive. When you look to move to a new place, you look to see your crime stats, you look to see taxes, and you look to see how the schools are. We're running 3 for 3 here. Those are my areas of concern.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Wright, for coming on tonight. Thank you, Mr. Michael, for coming on. Before you go, and then Mr. Scoggins, I hope you can hear me in the background because, I'm getting ready to bring you up. One more thing, Pastor Wright, can you tell everybody how they can reach you if you need some help? Because you know the elections are coming up. Do you need some help? Just let them know. Give them information on how they.
The quickest way to reach me is on Facebook, um, Wright for Baltimore on Facebook. All of my other platforms are listed there. So if you go there, you can find all the different ways to reach me. And folks, I want to leave y'all with one last thing. This campaign isn't about backstabbing. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about how they don't want to get in the gutter. They they want to have issues. I'm not the one calling names. This last Tuesday, my opponent called me a gutter snipe. But you know what? I am from the hood and I'm damn proud of it because it gave me a background to be able to know for a fact that I'm bringing the right solutions here. Blanca's asking me how I would fix the schools. Can I answer that question? Okay. So the way I would fix the schools is, first of all, I would codify the boost program and expand it so that parents whose children are stuck in schools that are poor performing would have an option and an opportunity to get a better education for their children. That's number one. Number two, I would lobby the state for academic savings accounts. Academic savings accounts are something that's used in other states where the money that the state pays for education is put into an account and the parents get to decide what school they want to send their children to. It's a different take on the boost program, and they're called academic savings accounts. I would introduce legislation for that. I would also expand charter schools here to introduce competition. It's just like any other segment of industry. If you want to improve the schools, you have to let people understand that they have to improve what they're doing. So you have to introduce competition. If I know I'm a principal at a school and I've got 500 students and 200 of those students have the option to get a scholarship and go somewhere else, I got to step up my game. So you want to introduce competition to improve the schools, each and every one individually and collectively through the boost program expansion and introduction of academic savings accounts, and also expanding charter schools.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, everybody, next week, next Wednesday, May 1st, I need you to tune in. I need you to have your questions ready, have your phone ready if you want to make a call, because we're going to have a mayoral debate next Wednesday, May 1st at 8 p.m. Y'all did not tell me. It looks like I got a little egg sitting on top of my head, but that's actually the light. Oh,
Lady, I just want to tell everybody that that is watching tonight. I apologize for getting a little angry. As a husband and having your wife in the forefront and dealing with the situations and the people and the different people, it becomes quite stressful. It's quite annoying sometimes. But I'm proud of her for what she does. I'm proud that she's able to lend herself to the city. Yeah, I'm on dialysis, and and she spends a lot of time taking care of me. So for her to do this and want to lend her heart to the city, trust me, everybody that's listening, it's for a good reason. She's a good person. And if you get to know her, you won't be sorry you ever knew her. I just want you to know, give her a chance before you start writing her off because of you think about parties and you think about this and that. If you knew Shannon as a person, you'd really, really like her. I believe me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a husband, but she's she's a really cool person. She is. And I think you guys would really benefit from getting to know her. Get to know her a little bit and you'll see. Me, you won't always saying that's okay. But get to know her and I promise you, you won't be sorry. Thank you, everybody.
all right, and thank you all for coming on, Mike. As always, I'm praying for you all, praying for you that you get that kidney. But thank God for a good husband and a good wife. I listen. If I can't find a husband that's gonna fight for me like he fight for his wife, I don't want you. I don't want you. Goodbye. I don't want you. But anyway, thank y'all for coming on. Pastor Shannon Wright will be a part of the debate on Wednesday, May 1st. Okay. And so make sure you join in, and you will see the flyer coming out soon of the other people that will be on the debate as well. Okay, thank you guys. So we're going to get ready to bring Mr. Donald Scoggins on. Now I see him in the background, but I don't see his. I don't think he has his camera on. Let me see. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay, so we're going to bring Mr. Scoggins on, and I know that we had some technical difficulties, so we want to make sure that we give Mr. Scoggins the same amount of time, that we've given to Pastor Shannon. Again, I'm going to put the phone number up. You can call in, continue to ask your questions of Mr. Scoggins in the chat. All right, y'all, let's go. Hey, Mr. Scoggins, how are you?
Good,
You have to turn your phone off in the background.
good evening. Is there still an echo on your side? Yes. Is there still an echo on your side?
Okay, Mr. Scoggins, I have you muted right now, but what I want you to do is I think you have another device on. Okay, so make sure everything is turned off. I'm going to unmute you and then let you talk, okay?
It's not on.
Okay, so make sure everything is turned off. I'm going to unmute you and then let you talk, okay?
Okay, all right. It's not on.
Okay, so make sure everything is turned off. I'm going to unmute you and then let you talk.
Okay, all right.
It's not on. Okay, so make sure everything is turned off. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, Mr. Scoggins, there's something on your end that's echoing like you have something else on. Are you on two devices?
Nope.
Are you on your phone?
Nope. No,
I
let me.
think it's your phone.
Nothing's on. Nothing's on.
Can you put your phone in a maybe in another area or something? Because it's a huge echo coming in. Are you on? What are you talking to me on your tablet or your phone?
Just a second. Hold on.
Okay, let me mute her real quick. We have some technical difficulties tonight. What are you saying? I can't hear. What are you
Use
saying?
my laptop.
Okay, so it sounds like you're on twice, like you logged in twice.
Okay, this is okay.
Go out.
How's that? How's that?
That's better.
Okay.
That's better. Okay. All right, y'all. I think we're ready. So everybody, this is Mr. Donald Scoggins. He is also running for. I forgot to say about Pastor Shannon. She's Republican. She's a Republican running for mayor. Mr. Scoggins is also a Republican running for mayor, and we want to give him the opportunity to tell us a little bit about who he is. And like I said, tonight is just a conversation with the candidates. Wednesday will be the mayoral debate where they'll be giving questions. And I will say, if you would like to submit a question, you absolutely can submit your question, and I will read those questions. That particular night as well, you will also be able to, if you want to come on the screen with them and ask a question, you'll be able to do that as well. Okay, this is interactive. And so you'll get to participate in so many different ways. It's going to be fun. We've done it before for those of you who have participated. So, Mr. Scoggins, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm anxious to be on tonight.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're running for mayor of Baltimore.
Okay. My name is Don Scoggins. There's more extensive information about me on my website, which is www.scogginsformayor.com. I'm a military veteran, housing specialist, retired federal government worker, retired local government worker, retired 25 years businessman, real estate, and done several other things dealing with affordable housing. I've had about a 50-year career doing multiple things, and that's what I'm excited about being here in Baltimore, because I have a pretty broad, um, I would say a pretty diverse career, and just about everything that's involved in Baltimore, I've sort of done that, and I would like to see what I can do. Now, you asked why do I want to run for mayor of Baltimore? Um, I'm very concerned about the future of our community, and especially as it relates to the young people. I do not see, looking back on it and being strategic, looking forward, I do not see where public officials are sufficiently um, concerned about how the youth of today are going to be able to have viable lives later on. I would say maybe 15, 20 years from now. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? It's difficult now. And if young people are not given the foundation, then they can't succeed. Another reason why I'm doing this, I look at Baltimore as being a laboratory of ideas. Uh, I don't need to go into it, but I would like to see our family structure. I would like to see what I can do to contribute to strengthening our families, because everything starts at home. I would say there are a myriad of problems in our community, but when you look at it, it's all starts in the home. So I would like to come up with policies. I have some policies, but I don't have time to go into them all here. But I would like to have it so that we can keep our families intact as much as possible. And a part of that will be to make housing available in Baltimore. We have plenty of houses here. I would like to make housing available to families where the mother and father are with their children. That's what I would like to do. But probably, as you say, go back to the basics and strengthen the family, strengthen the homes. Another thing I would like to do is to make people, not just the young people, but I think people need to have hope in Baltimore. Many people that I've talked to, some say, well, if I can leave, I would. And I would like people to feel as though people would want to come to Baltimore. I've heard some people say that, Baltimore can be a little provincial, but to me, Baltimore is a welcoming place. Everyone I've talked to have been pretty welcoming to me. And I've been in the DMV area over 52 years. Haven't been in Baltimore all that time, but I've been in the area for 52 years, and Baltimore has quite a reputation elsewhere in the DMV. So I would like to deal with that. And I would also like to see what I can do about creating a youth leadership academy that's outside of the school system, because the school system has its issues. And rather than try to, uh, I'll try to do it, but if it's going to be too much resistance, I think there's enough wherewithal in Baltimore that the Baltimore city government can have its own school, a youth academy, where we have young people that do internships with the city government, and we'll try to have internships with some of the small businesses. As I talk to the young people, they say there's just nothing for them to do. So I think we need to be a little more robust in helping the youth. And that's one of the big things I want to do. Another thing I want to do is streamline the government. I think Baltimore city government is a little bit too bloated for about a 500,000 population. So that needs to be dealt with. And another thing I would like to do, this may be hard to do, but Baltimore I've heard people say, and this is true, Baltimore needs to have more unity. I would like to bring the various ethnicities together as much as possible, so it's not so much division in the city. You have the uptown, the downtown, this, that, and the other. So I want everyone to feel equal in Baltimore. And another thing is we need to make sure that the elderly people are taken care of too, because we have many elderly people here cannot afford to leave, and they want to feel safe in their neighborhoods. Now, getting back to crime, one of the biggest contributors of crime is poverty. So that goes along with providing housing or making sure that we can provide a way for, like I said, the families. So everything begins at that point. And as far as anything else, I'm welcome to hear questions, but I'm very policy oriented, and I want to make sure that we come up with policies that's going to help the city and not hinder it.
Okay, Mr. Scoggins, we have a caller, and I'll make sure that your background is turned down. And so you got to turn your back. You got to turn whatever you're listening to in the background. You have to turn that down.
I don't have anything.
No, not you. Not
Oh,
caller. Chris,
Yes, hello.
you have to turn your background down because we'll get the feedback.
All right, I turned it down. Can
All
you hear
right. Yes, we can hear you.
me? Okay, my question is, I watched the debate the other night with Mr. Scoggins, and I watched it also with Pastor Shannon, Wright, and a lot was said back and forth between the two of them, but I'm not worried about that. I like to get to policy. Mr. Scoggins is a urban planner, and Baltimore has a blight problem with a bunch of abandoned houses all around Baltimore City. Can you please explain to all of Baltimore what is your policies to fix? Clearly, what is your policy to fix all the abandoned houses, and how can you say you can fix Baltimore up? How can you fix Baltimore up with your policy as far as abandoned houses in the housing situation?
okay. Let's see. I hope it's not echo. One of the first things I would do as becoming mayor is that I'll be very robust in looking at the various neighborhoods, and it shouldn't take 30 or 40 years, but I would look at all sectors of the city and prioritize neighborhoods that need the most redevelopment. If it has, we'll privatize them. And I think that there are certain areas of the city that needs more robust and more immediate redevelopment than elsewhere. And I would also look at the homes that are scattered throughout that maybe needs fixing up. I would like to help the homeowners, and these would be geared towards homeowners, not investors. I would like to help the homeowners have low interest rate loans to do exterior sprucing up of their homes, so that'll help the neighborhood. Maybe $3,000 low interest rate loans to do the painting and scraping and maybe putting in new windows, to do something that will make neighborhoods look good. But getting to your point about the blighted homes, there's some neighborhoods that actually, quite frankly, they need to be totally redeveloped. They need to be, some of the houses are too far gone, and for the city to keep having those in their inventory and putting them out there for bid, that's really, I think that really deters helping to improve some of these neighborhoods. We would just have to go block by block and figure out which homes need to be renovated and which cannot be renovated. And if it's an abundance of homes in certain areas that can't be renovated, then we should be very aggressive about demolishing them and make plans to build new homes there. So that's the part of the dealing with the housing. And I would make very effort to make sure that Baltimore citizens or residents of Baltimore who've been here for a while, that have viable, sustainable jobs, are able to purchase these homes. I would like to increase the home ownership rate in Baltimore instead of having so many renters. And that doesn't mean that I would get rid of renters, but what I would do is, as much as possible, turn renters into home owners. That's what I would like to do.
All right, so we have a caller, Mr. Scoggins. I'm gonna the caller. Go ahead, caller. Is the caller still there? Caller, I see your name, but hello. No. Okay, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Good evening. I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you now. All right, I apologize. Mr. Scoggins, this is the same caller who called Pastor Shannon to ask.
Okay, hold on 1 second, because you had. Hold on, caller. Hold on 1 second, caller. You got to turn You got to turn the show off in the background. Turn it down. The show, you have the show playing in the background, and then talk.
I'm sorry, I apologize. There was an echo. I was trying to articulate. Mr. Scoggins is the same caller who asked Pastor Shannon for the timeline of her period of time in Baltimore City. I'm asking the same question of you, sir. And if I may, I'd like to have a follow-up, please. I'll put myself on the spot to that.
Mr. Scoggins, I'm not sure if you heard.
Did you hear my question?
I heard it. I'm
What
just
was
making
the,
sure.
what was the
Making sure to
question?
hear. She called earlier and she made a comment to Pastor Shannon Wright about where she lived. Like, where do you reside? So
Right.
she's asking you the question, where do you reside, or do you live in Baltimore? And what was the other part of that? Okay. Which
Madison Park. Is there another question?
Okay, I was listening to her call. I'm listening to her question. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had you. I was on mute. I'm sorry. But Mr. Scoggins, what she's asking you is to give a timeline of when you came to Baltimore. Did you leave in between? Did you move anywhere else? She would like to know a timeline. She said just as Pastor Wright gave a timeline. What is the timeline? How long have you been in Baltimore? Do you have a address, a PO box, or what? That's her question.
I've complied with the Maryland Board of Elections in terms of a residency, so I've done that, and that's what I did. Now, in terms of living in Baltimore, yes, I do live in Baltimore, and I have not lived here for a long time, but I've been in and out of Baltimore for over the years, so I know quite a bit about Baltimore, as much as I need to know to do what I want to do.
And do you want to answer her question about? She was asking about a timeline of when you came here and when you left. Do you want to answer that question?
Hey, let's see. A timeline is when I came here. I established residency over a year ago. I established legal residency over a year ago. That's what the Board of Election requires.
We have another caller, and then I'm going to go to. We have a comment from Blanca.
Residency is not the question. Living inside the city, establishing residency was not the question. Democrats do that all the time. You have a zip code listed as 21217. I live in 21217. Establishing residency is exactly what Democrats do. They get an address and they live wherever they choose to live. So perhaps the question should be, sir, where does your wife live?
Where does my wife live? Well, I'll tell you what, my wife lives where my wife lives in Virginia. And my wife, that's where she lives. We have family obligations down there, so that's where she lives, and I'm in Baltimore. I'm retired. She's still working. We got family obligations there, so that's what she's dealing with.
Okay, caller, I hope you heard what he was saying. He said his wife lives in Virginia, and we have Truth Ministry said that he's been to Mr. Scoggins' house. He lives in Madison Park. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Mr. Scoggins, we also have a question from Blanca, I'm not going to try to say her last name, but she said, for many like me, school was a safe haven before being adopted. What would you do to ensure the school district provides a world class education?
Can you hear me? It's not on mute, right? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm not muted, correct?
We can hear you, Mr.
You can hear me?
Scoggins.
Okay. The first thing I would do is get with actually to get with the State Board of Education and talk to the CEO or the Secretary of the State Board of Education, because that's where a lot of the policies are determined at that particular level. And in Baltimore, as many people know, the mayor is not in charge of the school system. While they can appoint uh, certain amount of board members, but they cannot control it. So I think we need to go where the policies are made and where the impediments could occur. As I see it, there are a lot of the hangups when it comes to the school system can be solved at the state level. If we can get the Secretary of Education on board to what we want to do, I think that will be a great help. And I think that we need to make sure that the school system has a curriculum and they're delivering to the students based on their needs, because many students are not college bound or they're not college equipped for that type of thing. And I think that it'd be better to come up with a policy to deal with the student population that we have. I've talked to many students. They're not interested in an academic type curriculum. They're more or less interested in the trades, something dealing with entrepreneurship, maybe dealing with something that they can go into business. So I would encourage coming up with a curriculum that gears towards the students' needs so they can be interested in being in school. A lot of the kids are just not interested in what we're teaching in the school nowadays, and many of them come from troubled families, so they're not motivated or they just don't have the interest. So we need to talk to them. I've talked to some young people like 13 and 14 years old. I asked them, are they interested in school? Many of them say they're not, and I say, why not? Because it's boring. So if it's boring, we need to come up with ways to engage students. When I was young, we went places, did things, we all sorts of activities, and we need to bring that back into the schools. And we can do that through work with other organizations. The school system does not have to do everything. We can contract out. And I mentioned, like in charter schools, we can have some charter schools that deal with maybe travel and deal with the trades. It doesn't have to all be done by the public school system.
All right. I do have some questions that people are texting me. I want to make sure that let me go back to some of the comments that because I always like to be fair and put everybody's comments up. Um, I'm trying to think of where did I stop. Okay, we did say this one. Truth Ministry said that he's been to your house. You live in Madison Park.
May I go back? May I go back to that person that Ms. Davenport is about a 2 to 1? Can you go back to that?
She said, allow him to answer with policy.
Well, I already answered that question. Let me go back to the part about a corporation that she talked about,
Oh, let's see.
which is erroneous.
Oh, here we go. So the comment says he has a $2.1 million corporation that is also registered in Virginia. What has he done in Maryland while traveling back and forth? And I'll let you answer her question.
Okay, number one, Ms. Davenport, the $2.1 million corporation is not mine. It's a nonprofit corporation, not registered in Virginia. It's registered in Washington, D.C., and it's been registered there for almost 45 years. It's a nonprofit organization that I helped found. So wherever you get that information from is erroneous, and it's not registered in Virginia.
Okay, Mr. Scoggins, I thought you had something else to say.
No,
Let me
I
finish
don't know
reading.
where that I don't know where that young lady is getting her information from. She's probably getting it from some source. It's not correct. It's not a, you know, I don't have a $2.1 million corporation. It's a nonprofit organization that I'm just happen to be one of the members of. It's not mine. I don't own it.
All right, and then we have Truth Ministry says also he's been answering questions without reading off a paper at every mayoral forum this election. This is not new for him. We have this staff report ain't looking for dirt, looking for the truth. And no, you're in the mud, but it's cool. I think he's talking to Miss Davenport. I think he's talking to her. He said, no, you're in the mud, and that's cool. Okay. So, Mr. Scoggins, we're going to do a few more questions, and then if anybody wants to call in, we got a few more minutes. 443-297.
I believe Miss Davenport was working with Pastor Wright, so maybe that's a question that she wanted answered. I guess I don't know.
Okay, he said that at the other debate he named it. I looked it up. Okay.
Name what? No, it was a I mentioned the $2.4 million nonprofit that I helped found about 40 some years ago. It was a nonprofit organization. I didn't say it was mine, and I did not say it was in Virginia. It's an organization that's in Washington, D.C., not Virginia. And it's a nonprofit organization that I helped found with 2 or 3 other folks.
All right, and we have a caller, Mr. Scoggins. Go ahead, caller.
Hello? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. But you're listening to. You have to turn on. You have to turn down whatever's in your background because it's giving a lot of feedback.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I like to. I hear about the corporation and all, and I heard about the back and forth, and this is exactly what was had in the last meeting. But I would like to know personally about crime. I haven't heard Mr. Scoggins say anything about crime, and I would like to know, does he have a crime? And we have a squeegee kid problem. We have a crime problem. As mayor, yes, he's a businessman. I understand he can handle business. I understand he can handle the blight. Can he handle the crime? That's my question.
Yeah. Let me answer the crime problem. I've talked to many young people. That's what I do. Most of the days I go around in the neighborhood talking to young folks. Number one, they want something to do. They want something to do. The crime problem didn't just start overnight. It's been something that's been happening in our community for many, many years, and it's going to be a multifaceted approach. And the first approach will be geared towards figuring out what we can do to help these families, because the families, obviously, the young people, many of them are just not getting guidance at home. So we need to deal with that. And you can't take a child that's 15 or 16 years old and start and expect them, if they have not been given the guidance over the years, you can't expect them to behave a certain way. So I would first work with the families and be very firm about it, that they have to make sure that they manage their children. That's not the job of the government to do that. They have to manage their children. So I would do that. And like I said earlier, I would come up with some robust programs that interest the young people. They need something to do. Many of them they're very bright and everything, but if they don't have anything to do, and one reason why they don't have anything to do is because over the years, particularly what I see in Baltimore, is so much politics and everything that the young people are just being left as their afterthought. People are more concerned about the machinations of politics than they are about policies that help these young people.
I have a text that came in, Mr. Scoggins. I'm going to read the text to you. The text says, "Do you regret calling Pastor Wright? Do you regret calling Pastor Wright a gutter snipe? Would you like to apologize?"
ask you this: what did Pastor Wright say about me first? I mean,
I'm sorry, were you asking me, Mr.
no, I
Scoggins?
put it like this: what I said was a couple of days ago, and what does she want to apologize for calling me? I tell you what, basically, what was said, and that's over with. And I'll just take the next question.
The other text that I have is, uh, if you are elected mayor, do you think you can work with those who are already in office, like city council and other people, or are there any changes you would like to make?
Quite frankly, quite frankly, from what I can see, there needs to be a leadership. I don't really know if there's any cohesive strategic plan as to what the city wants to achieve. And the way I see it, everybody's involved in their individual politics to get reelected. So what I would do is get with them and explain to them what I would like to do. And my main concern is I have about 3 or 4 things I would like to really get accomplished, because I can't accomplish everything all in one time. This is going to be a 20 or 30-year process. And so what I would like to do is talk to them and get a meeting of the minds so we can be together. So it's not like you have 14 people on a separate island and everybody have their own little uh, fiefdom of what they want to do. We need to come together for the benefit of Baltimore.
Okay, so this question is from, uh, I was looking at that. Pastor Shannon writes, I saw her write something, but I was looking down at my phone. But she's saying to you, like what? So I think she's asking you asked, what did you say to her? What did she say to you or something? Listen, what did you say to her or whatever? You can respond if you would like to.
Okay, you know what, lady, Lady J, I'm not going to be distracted with that. That was on Wednesday. I'm not going to get into uh, this type of mode of conversation. I'm strictly on policy. I don't want to get into the personal things. We just move on from that and deal with what we're going to do to make Baltimore better, and not what I call her or what she called me. Let's just move on and be adults and just move on to deal with what's necessary to move Baltimore ahead. That's what's, in a way, I think that's kind of like part of the problem in Baltimore, is that we get involved in this juvenile type name calling sort of thing. So just let that go and just move on.
All right. And again, everybody, this show was for the candidates to speak. This is their time to speak. So that's why we're flowing like this. I don't see any more questions in the chat, and nobody is calling. But I do want to say this: on Wednesday, May 1st, we're going to have a virtual mayoral debate. Mr. Scoggins is going to be a part of it. Pastor Shannon Wright is going to be a part of it. We have some other people that are going to be a part of it. And I would love for you all to tune in, because here's the thing. Do we have another comment? Let's see. Let me just put this comment up while I'm talking. But here's the thing. There's so much going on in our city, and we have to get to the root of the problem. And then on top of that, we have our future leaders, these young people in the schools. And so we have to get back to training them, being mentors, making sure our school systems are the way they're supposed to be, because these are the ones who are going to be coming out and leading Baltimore. And we don't want them leaving Baltimore. We want them to stick around and lead. So, that's what we really have to work on.
May I say something, Lady J? May I say something? I guess my time is still here. That is what I mentioned earlier. I want to create a leadership academy that's perhaps outside of the school system, because the school system, in many instances, dealing with the machinations of what you have to deal with the city, maybe with the state government, and maybe even with the city council. Nothing says that the city can't create its own school system. or not system, but I mean its own particular school that deals with what you deal with what we're talking about. We can create leaders where we can talk about entrepreneurship, home ownership, financial literacy, things that they're not getting, and also life skills and everything. That's what I would like to do, to have that going on. So you mentioned training young people, and that's one of the biggest things we need, because we need to train young people so that when they get to a certain age, they're not in the rut that we're in right now, where you have certain people who run for office who really do not know what leadership or public service is all about.
Let me go back to some of the comments, and you all, if anybody would like to call, you got a couple of minutes to call in, because I got to go home and go to bed because I have to get up early in the morning. So let me go through the comments. Where did I stop at? Oh, so okay, so Miss Davenport says, she says, I have lived elsewhere. I have traveled and lived elsewhere. I choose to live in the city. Naquan said, well said. I hope I said that name right. And this is Pastor Wright. She has a question, was asking you something regarding the schools. We have Miss Davenport. I am, uh, I'm trying to talk and the phone is ringing. Hold on, caller. Miss Davenport says, I am a homeowner. I don't rent my home. Pastor Wright, I'm trying to call. Okay, the phones are open. Um, Truth Ministry says, girl, you ain't said nothing. I just did 3 years. You did 3 years in Mexico? We all choose to live here. That's funny. That's funny. I like that comment. Can Don Scoggins raise $2.1 million? This is from Christopher Anderson, and Christopher is running for city council. Can Don Scoggins raise $2.1 million to fix West Baltimore like that organization in D.C.? Okay.
Well, let me answer that question. It can be done, but we have to have people involved that have the proper skill set. That was done in a different time. We had different people we were dealing with. And from what I can see in Baltimore, you have so many different entities that are conflicting with each other. Raising the money is not the problem. The problem is when you try to go get the money, some of the investors, and I've talked to many investors who would like to invest in Baltimore, but they just don't have the confidence in many of the leaders here because they feel they're going to steal the money. And monies have come and gone in Baltimore, and you don't see anything, have anything to show for it. So raising $2.1 million is number one. That's not a whole lot of money when you consider development. But in terms of raising it, it can be raised in such a way that you can sell bonds, you can do all sorts of things. And you have to be able to have a viable plan to get the money. When you go out and raise money, the first thing I want to know is what are you going to do with it? Do you have the capability of pulling it off and things like that? So that will have to be done, and it will have to be done in the neighborhood where people are together, in terms of not a lot of big backbiting, because we have a lot of that where people can't get together. There's a lot of fighting and this and that. So we have to get with neighborhood organizations and have a meeting of the minds of what they want, so it's transparent as to what they want, and then move on from there. And when you do development, it's not like you're renovating a house. A development may be a 4 or 5 year effort. And I think that in Baltimore, I would like to see some of the neighborhoods comprehensively redeveloped that would include grocery stores and other sorts of things that are conducive for good living.
All right. So we have a caller. I wanted to hold on. I was trying to look at a comment. I think this is comment is for Christopher Anderson. Um, the comment is from Truth Ministries. Can you run a campaign? So Listen, y'all ready to fight tonight? Can you run a campaign so you can actually have a chance of winning District 7 because they don't know you? That's for Christopher Anderson. Oh, y'all just came to fight. I told you I got my Black Power wig on tonight. I don't know what's going on. And then Naquan says, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It says, seems like a silly question from a council member candidate. Does he know 2.1 million doesn't need to be raised, just allocated? So those are questions for Christopher Anderson. Let me bring the caller up so we can get the caller on, and then y'all, we're going to close out in a couple of minutes. All right, and Mr. Scoggins, thank you again for coming on. All right,
Thank
caller.
you.
Caller still there? Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Oh, Chris Anderson. Hold on, Chris Anderson. 1 second.
I think the question, the
Chris
response
Anderson,
should be,
hold on.
the response should be to me and ask me the question. I don't think it should be going back and forth with one of the callers.
Okay, it's your time, Mr. Scoggins. All right.
Yeah.
So this set call is from Pastor Shannon Wright.
My question is for Mr. Scoggins. If you're so strong on your policies, then no, it's a statement. I would appreciate you keeping my name out of your mouth. You insinuated that I had people calling in. Unlike you, I did not. I don't need to have staged anything to be able to deal with you. The fact that you don't live in the city, the fact that you don't know the city, the fact that you talk about
Pastor, let's see.
uptown and downtown, not east side, west side, tells everyone everything they need.
Charlene, can you? That's not. I'm not going to respond to that kind of nonsense. All right. So just.
All right. So
You were asked if
I'm not going to respond to that nonsense. You had your time.
If you'd like, I'd be happy.
Okay.
he's saying that he does not want to talk to you. He does not want to respond to you. So I'm going to let Chris Anderson do his call, and I'm going home because y'all.
Could you?
All right, so we're going to go to I'm sorry. Oh, I hung up on Chris. I'm sorry, Chris. Sorry about that. So listen, y'all, we're going to get ready to let me
And also
the last few questions in here because I want to make sure. I always like to include my audience, and I thank you all for tuning in. Okay, Truth Ministry says they coming for Don, and Don ain't do nothing but try to help this city. And then we have he's okay. You see they gangsters, and I said that, not Don. Okay. Oh, he's saying I said that, not Don. Got you. Okay. Chris Anderson, Truth Ministries. Why would you ask me that? And the district does know me. Okay, that's from Chris. Now let me say this. Let me say this, Mr. Scoggins, real quick. And I forgot to say this on Tuesday. All right, because this is Mr. Scoggins. You know, I don't want Chris going fussing back and forth with people.
Right.
But Tuesday at 7 p.m. I will be doing a talk like we're doing today with Chris Anderson, and there's supposed to be another person coming on. Okay, I got another question. It's supposed to be another person coming on as well. He said, okay, this comment says, I was mistaken. It is registered in DC, but that is his wife's home address in Virginia. He said, let the caller talk directly to him. So Tuesday at 7 p.m., I'm going to be having a conversation with Chris Anderson. So if you all want to call in on that day or comment like you're doing, and I think I had mentioned before that you can also, this is interactive, so you can also come on the screen if you want to. We can do that also. If you would like to come on the screen and actually ask the candidates a question, you can do that. So, Mr. Scoggins, I'm going to let you give your closing remarks, and then we're going to head on up out of here.
Okay, my closing remarks center around some of the questions that were asked And I believe when I talk to Baltimore residents, they want something new. They want someone that has a fresh view of things, has a fresh start, that are not part of the entrenched dysfunction that's been in the city. Some of the questions that were asked to me, they didn't have nothing to do with policies that will help Baltimore. They were sort of they didn't have anything to do with what's necessary to improve Baltimore. And I want to bring focus back to improving Baltimore, not getting into the some of the questions that have nothing to do with policy. My main concern is helping the youth, bringing them, providing an educational track that they can thrive in, and not deal with some of the other uh, crab in the barrel type questions that were there. That's basically what I would like to do, and I would also like to help change the image of Baltimore, because right now the Baltimore's image is not what I think it should be or what it could be. There are many people who really love living in Baltimore, and we need to make sure that people who love living in Baltimore will want to stay here in Baltimore and not leave out. I've had people to call me and say they would love to move back to Baltimore, but the atmosphere is not conducive to that.
All right, Mr. Scoggins, thank
Okay.
you so much for coming on. Let me read this one last question.
I don't think that was that for me, or that was.
I think that was for Chris. We got Stephen Copeland. He just came on. He said, "Do I need to chime in on my 7th district born and raised?" Christopher Anderson, that was a genuine question. I meant allocate. I misspoke.
Okay, that's
That's
fine.
a policy question. What's silly about that? Actually,
Okay,
I know it's supposed to be more money. I asked a policy question.
Yeah, that was more or less, that was to the, I think that was to one of the questioners, so I don't think I need to get involved in that.
Okay,
Mhm.
Mr. Scoggins, because she was asking Stephen Copeland, where is Madison Park? Where is that at? Can you hear me?
Who, me?
Yes, I was
It's in Baltimore. Let the person who asked me where it is, let them find it out. Because I know that person who's asking me that question. So if they want to know, they can find out themselves.
All right. So
Look it up on the map.
Okay. So you all, I'm just going to mute you for a minute, Mr. Scoggins, so you won't have any feedback. Give me 1 second. But so you all have heard, have had a chance to hear from 2 of the candidates that are running for mayor. I'm going to be talking to Bob Wallace, and so you'll get the whole thing about this. And like I say, with me, is about being informed. So when you go to the polls, you can make an informed decision about who you would like to see in that office. And sometimes, unfortunately, words go back and forth. I'm a debater. I was on a debate team, in school, so I love debating. And sometimes, the debates get down and dirty. And so, but at the end of the day, what we're looking for is that candidate who's going to be the best fit for that office. And this is where we come in, where we get a chance to make a decision. And so having these conversations is good, to have these conversations, because then we're able to go back. These videos will be up, so if you missed it, if you just came on late, you'll be able to go back, listen to it, and make a decision. That's all I'm here for, so we can make a decision. I thank those of you who are new, who may not have ever watched this, who may not have ever been on What Up Baltimore before, but What Up Baltimore is a platform that I created in 2019, and we've been going strong ever since. And so when the political season comes around, I get a lot of calls from the politicians to come on the show. I don't say much because I want this to be your time to have a conversation with them and for them to have a conversation with you. So I hope you enjoyed it tonight. Make sure you come back. We do have shows that go on during the week. Make sure you check in Monday through Friday. Check out the shows that come on. A lot of them start at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, And so make sure that you tune in. I'm just putting up the questions. we see you. Thank you so much. Everybody who's been on. I've never seen Truth Ministries on here before, so thank you for coming on. I appreciate you coming on and sticking with us, giving your comments. It was somebody else on here I wanna give a shout out to that I've never seen on here.
Excuse me, Pauline, do you have a number about how many people tuned in tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. I will have that later for you.
Okay.
I have that later. I think it was Blanca. I had never seen her on before. And who's that? Truth Ministry says, "Oh, I'll be back." Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you ever feel like you would like to come on, Truth Ministries or anybody else, like I said, when we're having these conversations, all you have to do is call the number. Text the number on the screen. Let me know that you would like to come on, and I'll put you up for a few minutes where you're able to be on the screen and have your one-on-one conversation with the candidates as well. Thanks. You said I have absolutely no idea either. Never heard of Madison Park. Let me make sure I got everybody on here. I think I put up everybody's comment. Thank you so much again for coming on. So I want to say thank you to Pastor Shannon Wright for coming on tonight, and her husband Mike for coming on tonight, and having a conversation with her. I'm going to thank Dr. I keep. Are you a Dr. Scoggins? Because for some reason I keep getting ready to call you Dr. Scoggins. You look like a doctor.
I do.
So I keep getting ready to say Dr. Scoggins. Mr. Scoggins, who's running for mayor of Baltimore. Both candidates we had on tonight are in the Republican Party, and so there. And so y'all, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night. I will be on tomorrow. Well, anyway, for those of you who don't know, I'm also a chaplain, so I'll be on tomorrow, and as I am every Saturday, giving the word. But y'all have a good night, and thank you so much for tuning in. And being a part of the What Up Baltimore platform. Don't be a stranger. Come back and join us again. All right, everybody, take care, be blessed, be safe. All right, my name is Dr. Lady J, and I'm out of here. Good night. Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.